The stale reference manipulation glitch, or SRM, allows us to do arbitrary code execution, or ACE. This means writing snippets of code that you can cause the game to execute, to your benefit. For instance, file names are a particularly convenient place to write code. Using just one instruction from the name of a file, we can warp to the credits in any percent. Majora's Mask is lucky in this regard. Whenever you create or copy a file, its name gets written into memory in a place that typically isn't otherwise used. This means that, as long as you don't reset your game, that file name will just sit there, even if you select a different file. The current file's name is always loaded elsewhere in memory, so this means we can have access to two file names at once. This gives us enough freedom to really abuse ACE. In this video, we'll just scratch the surface of what's possible with it. Here we are in Woods of Mystery. I've set this file up with the two file names I was showing just now, as well as a few items. We'll need to begin by manipulating the way actors are loaded in memory. So we'll shoot an arrow, we'll go back and forth through this load plane, and we'll destroy these two bushes. Okay, that is our heap setup. Now we'll superslide off the remaining bush. When the room unloads, the bush will be culled by being off camera, but Link will still try to grab it. This means he's writing data, like position and angle, to where the bush was in memory, and we can write over new things that load there. Things are set up such that when we load the main room again, we'll be changing the function that causes a bush to display on screen. This means that we'll need to be careful about our angle so that it doesn't attempt to run invalid code. So here we'll get an angle that is not the one we want, but it's one that's safe to walk through the room with. And once we're safely past that bush, we can change the angle that we actually want, and drop the bush to set it. The next thing I'm going to do is throw Zora fins. When the modified bush runs its draw function, what it does will be determined by the rotation of the fins. The rotation I'll be getting here is going to cause the bush's draw function to jump to my controller inputs for the next instruction. This means that as soon as the bush tries to display, I need to be holding very specific combinations of buttons and analog stick at all times. If it's not already obvious, this video is tool assisted. Don't try this at home. The first thing I'm going to do with my controller is cause the game to run this file's name as code. That name is set up to jump to the secondary file name in memory, and then back to the bush's actual draw function, so that everything picks up right where it left off. Along the way, however, I'm going to be erasing the code that keeps controllers 2, 3, and 4 from working. This means that the next time the bush tries to run its draw function and gets redirected to controller inputs, I can use all 4 controllers to form instructions, and those instructions can change every frame. If that sounds incredibly powerful, well, it is. That means a lot is going to happen in a small span of time. When I unpause the video, it's going to look like I'm just gyrating at the monkey, but I'm really using controllers 1 and 3 to write custom code into memory, at a whopping rate of 1 byte per frame. After I've written everything I need, I'll cause some of the code to run, and we'll see what happens next. Turns out we're at the dog race, and it looks like we've bet on the blue dog. For those of you who don't know, the blue dog never wins this race. It's actually impossible for it to win. But it tries its best every time regardless. Everyone loves an underdog, so what do you say we give Blue Dog a little help this time? I've even brought in an expert rider to help Blue Dog win its first ever race. Now, I don't want to be accused of not believing in Blue Dog, but I did bet -1 rupees on it. Since we won, we tripled the bet that we put in, which means we lost 3 rupees. Luckily, as everyone knows, -3 is greater than 150, so we win the heart piece anyways. Thank you for watching. Total Control Ace is the most powerful glitch any game can have, and I'm really excited to see what people come up with next.